Yeah, well, you're hosting. How's it going, guys? Chris here at Track Shack. Guys, it's really great to be back. We took a little bit of a hiatus, obviously, from Facebook Live, so it is awesome to be back doing this with you again. We just kind of needed to figure some things out. But in the vein of figuring things out, there's a lot of changes everywhere. And a big one for us is that you're seeing some of our events go virtual. And so I've got two really awesome kind of co-hosts with me today. I've got Tom Ward, our Director of Operations over at Events. And like I said at the top, I'm Chris Hughes, your Director of Operations on Retail. And then Sarah Brown is our Director of Marketing at Events. And so Sarah and Tom are going to give us some unique perspectives from different sides of the event side in terms of how a virtual race is going to look and what it's going to be all about. Look, as always, as we always start these things off, hit like, love, wow, share this, spread it to your friends. If you've got friends doing our virtual events that you think need to hear about this, definitely make sure they get this information. And we're going to dive into the meat and potatoes of it in just a moment here. But I do want to give you guys a couple reminders. We are open here at Track Shack. We are open for business 10 to 6. Monday through Friday, we are 10 to 5. On Saturdays, our seating in here socially distanced. We ask you to bring your own socks and mask if you do come in, but we're here to fit you up. And you may notice Tom, Sarah, and myself, we have socially distanced ourselves. We are all 6 feet apart here because we did take our masks off for this, but we're all being as safe as possible, just like we are with the virtual transition of the race. And if safety for you is not coming into the store, go to trackshack.com. In the top left-hand corner, you're going to see a link that says Shop. Hit that. We've got free curbside pickup, also shipping. We can send the shoes right to your home. That is an option for you. But again, we've transitioned several races to virtual to help keep the community safe, but also keep us running together while we do that. And we've got a couple questions we put together here. Some tech experts standing by to answer any direct questions that you may ask. So you've got that opportunity here on Facebook. Go ahead and send us a question while this is happening. It might get read live. And every question that you do send to us is going to enter you into a raffle for an entry into one of our virtual races. So we definitely encourage you to do that. But without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And Tom, obviously, there's tons of virtual races right now. There's pretty much only virtual races, and they're keeping us as healthy and sane as possible through all of this. But in a nutshell, as an event operations guy, how does a virtual event work? What's it look like?
There are tons of ways to do a virtual race, but we've tried to simulate the real in-person race as much as possible, make all of our friends and families comfortable with the setup. So it's just like normal, register online. You will actually get all the same elements that you get of the in-person race. You get the race shirt, you get the race medal, you get the e-packet, and we do have an additional thing. We're adding exciting real-time remote racing, so you can actually get results by participating.
Very cool.
You can either come in the store like always, for pack and pickup Wednesday through Friday and pick up your stuff here, or if you're more comfortable having it mailed to you, you can choose to have it mailed to you. So then you'll get all the stuff at home. So very similar to what we did in the live in-person races.
Yeah, very cool. Can you tell me a little bit more about real-time remote racing? You guys will see this down here, RTRT is the shortened name for that app. You'll hear us kind of use throughout this tonight. But yeah, how exactly does that work? Like, what type of cues are you getting from it, and what does the scoring look like after the fact?
Well, it's going to start out, once you've registered in the race week, you're going to get an email, and they're going to have easy-to-follow instructions on how to download the app. Then you're going to claim your profile, and then we do recommend that you try a practice run or walk in your neighborhood, whatever the days leading up to the race. And then on race morning, in the allotted time frame that we ask you to do the race, and every race is going to be slightly different, but in that allotted time, you actually go out your backyard, wherever you want to run, and you actually just hit the start button, and it's going to have a countdown, just like Sarah said. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're going to feel like you're at a real race, and then it's going to start.
Awesome.
And then you proceed down the course, and you're going to get audio updates of your pace throughout the course, and you're going to have a few surprise audio messages that hopefully you'll enjoy while you're running the race.
Very cool. Very cool. And then results that'll post right when you finish?
Yes. As soon as you're finished, you'll actually get an audio message to announce what your time was, and then when you have a moment, catch your breath after that hard run, you can look at your phone, you can look at leaderboard, and it'll actually tell you where you stand up to that moment in real time how you're doing in your age group and how you're doing in gender and overall, of course. As the day progresses, in that allotted time that anybody can run the race, it'll be updated in real time.
Very cool. Race results faster than an instant COVID test. So there you go. That's our tagline.
That's a good one.
For that.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, obviously, to use this app, you've got to have your phone with you, and maybe not everybody runs with a phone. I know I do sometimes, but I know you do a lot. What are some of the things that you like to use to carry your phone when you're out there?
Just like Tom and Chris said, it is important that you download the app, and then you're going to bring your phone with you, because the whole RTRT system works through GPS with your phone, and so that's how it's going to track you and give you your time and your results. So, you know, everybody uses a phone, or uses their phone or doesn't use their phone for whatever reason, safety or not. But one item that I love is the arm pocket. I know that this is something we've carried for a long time. And I personally use it. I love it. It goes on your sleeve. And what were you saying to me earlier? You were saying that it is...
Yeah, so a lot of their fabrics are sustainably sourced. So they're a super green company, and we partnered with them for kind of, you know, some green and environmentally friendly initiatives. Yeah, so they're one of our brands that really makes that a focus, and so that's been a cool part of our relationship.
For some of you that aren't comfortable using your phone, this is a really good option. Another one is, you know, the shorts that hold the phone in the pockets. I run with someone, shout out Sue, and I've asked her often, I'm like, can you feel that phone in your back when you unzip and pull it out and put it back in there? And she's like, no, these are Lululemons from the store. You know, it's great. I don't feel the phone in there at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, lots of great ways.
And guys, on that note, you know, you might see that sweet phone pocket. I remember seeing it on some of my fiance's Lululemon shorts and being jealous, because I don't love the feeling of an armband. I don't know where to put it when I run. What I discovered, I actually had some of these shorts and didn't even realize it had this pocket. And once I did, I swapped out like all my shorts. That's all I run in. First of all, super comfy liner, and this is one of our men's Lululemon products as well. It's called the Surge Short. This is the most chafe-free liner we have in the summertime, which is very important this time of year. But this pocket, you know, doesn't look very big. I've got, you know, your standard size iPhone. I have it in a case, and in the case, I can fit it in here, and it sits just like your friend Sue said it is. It's flush right on my quad. I don't feel it move at all. So a couple of different seamless ways to go ahead and carry it with you, which is really nice.
One other thing I was going to add about having your phone with you is that part of this virtual experience is that you can download the custom Spotify playlist. And so what that is that for the Track Shack virtual events that we have, we'll be putting together with the help of DJ CJ, the announcer that you guys have all grown to love and we love as well. Absolutely. So he'll be putting together a playlist for each event, and so even though we're not together as we do our runs and our walks, we can experience that same race day feel with the music that we're having when we go out. And like you said, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're gonna do this race together. Yeah. But before you go, I have to give a big shout out. I heard my son's out there watching.
Oh,
hi Thurston, love you,
bud.
Thurston?
Hey, buddy.
One more thing on the phone.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't really into carrying a phone. I never carry a phone, never take pictures or whatever. But I thought that it would be really difficult to carry it the old-fashioned way. But I can tell you, for me, I've had no problem. I don't even realize I have it in my hand until I'm done, and I was just shocked by that. So you can be old-fashioned and carry it that way, but now that Chris just described those shorts, I think I need to get myself a pair or two.
Yeah.
I know a good place to get some.
Absolutely. And while we're on the phone, we'll eventually, you know, move on from that. But I love what you said about the playlist, right? Like, for those of you who have done our races, Christian's so awesome. He keeps the tunes bumping at the finish. They're always super motivational. So, you know, if you want that same feel, want to share it with other runners, and also don't want to have to think about what music to play, definitely get that playlist. But maybe you've got your own playlist, right? Like, this is what you like to grind to for a hard 5K effort. It gets you motivated. Awesome that you have the opportunity to do that. But Tom was talking about the audio cues on the RTRT app. If you're listening to music, are those two going to be compatible? Will they flow together?
Yeah. That's what's great. We weren't sure about that at the beginning, but we've done a few tests, and what we found is that you can listen to your playlist, and you also will be able to simultaneously get the audio cues from RTRT through while you're doing your virtual run. So, they work seamlessly together.
Awesome. I think earlier when we were talking, does it pause when the cues come on?
Yeah, you're going to get the pause of your music, and then you're going to hear the audio cue of your pace and where you are on the course, and then it's going to go right back to your music.
Very cool. That's really cool, because actually I know sometimes I'll be driving, you got the GPS on, and it might talk over your music, and that can be annoying, so I like that it pauses it, right?
Yeah.
So you can pick right back up where you were. So we've also mentioned hours a couple of times. So there's like a, per race, as Tom said, it may not be the same for all of them. There's sort of a range of hours where you have a window to use this RTRT app. But so I work almost every Saturday. You find me here in the store this Saturday. Come and see me. But for those folks that are in that situation, what do they do as far as posting results?
Yeah, just like you said, Chris, if you download the app, you're going to be utilizing the app during a certain amount of time. And so you want to go and check on the event page, the event website, to see what those hours are for utilizing the RTRT app. But for those of you who may not be able to do the 5K or whatever race we have in that time frame, you would just like any other virtual race, you're going to run anywhere, anytime. And then what you'll do with your finish time, we all look down, see how we finish on that distance, and you're going to email that to us at info@trackshack.com, and then we'll add you to the results.
Awesome. That's great. Well, guys, if you're just joining us, again, Chris Hughes here at Track Shack. I've got Tom Ward, our Director of Event Operations, Sarah Brown, our Director of Marketing from Events, and we are here to talk all things virtual racing. If you missed the beginning, this is going to be saved on Facebook. You can go back and watch it if you got friends you think this applies to. Definitely share it with them. But it's awesome to be back. It's awesome to be engaged with you guys again. And I think we're going to try to take one of your questions right now. In a moment. I got a couple questions for Tom, and then we're going to circle back to you guys. But we do want to answer some of those questions live. So another quick reminder, if you are just joining us, if you haven't had a chance to ask a question, you are going to be entered into a contest to win a virtual race entry if you ask us a question. So definitely go ahead and do that. But in the meantime, we kind of touched on this before, Tom. I might have gotten ahead of myself, but the run is over.
Yeah.
I really wanted to make that happen COVID test joke.
Yeah,
I was itching to get that one out,
Set you up.
But so you just did the run. You're utilizing RTRT. How do you view your results post-run?
Again, viewing them is different than audio, but just to remind you, you get an audio message of exactly what your time was. So that's great to hear that positive reinforcement, hopefully. But then when you get a moment, you actually just click on the leaderboard. At the bottom of the app, it'll have a leaderboard, and it will put those that have finished up to that point in the results. So you'll have, say, when you finished, there'll be 50 people done. All those people will be in their age groups, and they'll be in the gender, and they'll just be overall results. So you can follow along, and that reminds me of something that we haven't even practiced talking, so I'm going to go for it here, so forgive me. But it's that opportunity that when you download the app you claim your profile, you have an opportunity to track friends that are also running. So there is, at the top of that page, there's a search button that you can actually just put in, Sarah Brown, like I did when we did our test, and I got to see how Sarah was doing, and actually got to hear it because we were running at the same time.
I
But
had
that's
too
a reminder
good of a
that
time on Friday
so
night.
it's, yes, I'm answering the question for the results, but you can also track others. You're going to automatically get your own result live, but you can actually get the results and up to the minute progress of your fellow runners, those of you decided to track in advance.
Yeah.
So that's just a recommendation that you should do that if you want to follow someone as famous as Sarah Brown. I want to see how she's doing. So anyway.
Disappointing.
Yeah, and Lori has asked us an awesome question, which I don't know the answer to, so I'm excited to get it. Hopefully one of us does.
We do.
It says, does the app stop me at 3.1 miles? So in other words, do they have to hit, if they just keep running, will it keep tracking them, or does it automatically cut off at the 5K distance?
As far as I know, it cuts you off at the 5K distance. I know it does. It says you are finished, you are done, and believe me, most of us, especially on a hot summer day here in Central Florida, we're happy to be finished. But yeah, it does tell you when you have completed the 3.1 I won't get on the extra digits, but the 5K distance.
I finished a couple
Let you know.
5-mile runs at 3.1 in this heat recently, thinking they were going to be something further than they were, but you get out there in that sun, so
Yeah, I understand.
I was going to add to that, Tom, that one of my favorite things about it is that, you know, when you're doing things by yourself and you're just kind of like, okay, let me just keep going. I guess I'm almost done here. But it gives you a prompt for a 5K, it gives you a prompt at the 3 miles, so you can kick it in for that 0.1
Yeah.
and
Awesome.
really get that feel of almost crossing the finish line. And then, like you said, you get that audio cue of you finished, which is nice.
Very cool. And Belinda has asked us, are you able to upload intervals, like with the Galloway program, through RTRT? I don't believe you are, but it's tracking your constant pace. So, you know, it will give you what you did for that overall mile. It won't break it down to each individual walk and run split. So I would suggest if you're utilizing your Garmin, be it a Timex, if you're going the direct Galloway way. I know Jeff's sponsored product is the Gym Boss, which we carry here. So I would encourage using your own interval tracker, but the times per mile and overall distance RTRT will get for you.
Yeah, you're totally right. You should definitely plan on utilizing your Garmin or whatever
Your own
you're using.
interval
to
device.
do those
Yeah.
intervals.
Yeah. And Kevin says, do you know the times we can use the app? That is a good question. We talked about just a moment ago, if you're not able to do it within that range, how you can still submit results via email. So do we know what that time range will be, Tom?
We know what it's going to be for this weekend for our upcoming race, but what we want to talk about is that it's going to be dynamic. We are going to change the times a little bit. We're going to experiment and get feedback from you, the fellow runner, just to let us know if we captured it right. Right now, we're doing race mornings.
In a
But
6-hour window.
So just for Kevin, what is that window? This week?
This
For example, that's 6 a.m. to noon. So those of you that like that morning run walk, or those of you that don't really care about the heat and can take it. So
All right. Oh, they're flowing in.
this is nice.
Okay. How do you virtually race on a treadmill, Michelle? That's a really good one, Michelle. Since RTRT is using GPS in a treadmill situation, this is going to kind of jump us back to the question about not being within that time window. Obviously, treadmills do track distance. So what we'll ask you to do in that case is to go ahead and submit to us that distance that you tracked on the treadmill via email. I don't see a reason to not throw on the app. It may not update you on pace, but for some of the other audio cues, that could be fun, and definitely still do the Spotify playlist. But as far as getting your distance read, we would ask that you just go ahead and shoot us over a picture, get those results off of that treadmill itself.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to talk to tech support on that
Yeah,
one.
that's a
really
good one,
get
and it's a great
But
question.
that is a good answer. Right now, it's just...
That's my best answer at the moment.
It's good.
I'm glad that Tom
I
said
like it.
we might be able to, maybe there is a way, but for what we know right now,
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
And so, Jen Fluker, hey, how are you? We know you, Jen. You know what, Jen? That's a really perfect transition. That's actually the next question I already had written down. So, Tom, will there be awards? Well, and let me hold that back up for me, Liz, because I want to. Well, because there's kind of two different tiers here. I think Jen just kind of helps us take it from a different angle, right? Like my question is, will there be awards? What Jen has actually asked is, will top finishers be recognized? Because I know there will be, like you said earlier, rankings by gender and age category. So those will be visible, but the awards are separate tiers. So I'm going to let you two kind of run with those two parts.
Well, you can actually see the finisher certificate with the splits of, especially those people. I know you can get it from those that you've tracked, but I know you personally, the runner, will actually get what looks like a finisher certificate with your overall time, your place in your age group, your splits, the whole 9 yards, and it's going to be, real time. I mean, you're going to get it right away. So it's like a personal recognition. As far as awards, going back to this question, we actually are not giving out awards because all conditions aren't going to be equal. There are going to be some folks that might be lucky enough to be in a place where it's much cooler than Central Florida on Saturdays here, especially in the fall. But we just didn't think it was quite fair. It might be much cooler, a downhill course, for example. So as far as awards, we are not recognizing official awards, but you can get your finisher certificate.
And then circling back, Sarah, just a little bit, even though there's not awards, and Tom mentioned you'll get your own certificate, you can get the certificate of those folks
Yeah.
you've chosen to track, but there will be a leaderboard you can look at for where you fall into the other people using the app, even if you've not chosen to track everybody, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
You'll be able to see everybody that has participated through the leaderboard. Again, I think one of those things that you'll have to do, and what we all do, is just you're going to experience it. You're going to have the app open when you're done. You're going to click all the buttons. You'll see leaderboard there, and you'll see info. You'll see different things. So you're just going to want to push the button and check it out. But like you guys said, you'll see every single person that has finished up to that moment.
Right.
So you might be first. You know,
Yeah,
you might
you
be
could be.
first.
So
if
maybe
you
you're-
start first thing, you might be first. But you know,
For a
who
little
knows how
while,
the
you'll
day
be on the
will end.
leaderboard as
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
Sure.
But another thing to add to that is that we do have the finisher certificate in addition that you can download that you're used to. So for those of you who like the PDF and you can print it out and it's beautiful, you have that opportunity to download the finisher certificate as well. So additional recognition.
Very cool. I've got a really good question from Garrett, and that may be one we have to bounce to tech support. So if we don't give you a clean answer now, Garrett, we may circle back and answer that on social. I'm going to read it in a minute, but before I read it, we just got a really nice note from someone who I know
Yes.
is very near and dear to all of our hearts.
We
And
love you,
Sterling,
Sterling.
we love you. We miss you too. But hey, you know what? Our good friend Sterling, who's living in Wisconsin now, I believe,
Yes.
is Sterling.
Very good. She moves a lot, so.
You can run these virtual races with us
Oh,
now.
she is.
So that's something that's so
Yeah.
cool, and we can listen to that same playlist together and have that sense of continuity and family now. And we wish you and your lovely family, nothing but the best. We love you, Sterling.
Thanks,
But what Garrett has asked, so really maybe too good of a question. He says, does the app work with an Apple Watch? Can it sync to other apps like Strava and the Nike app?
Woo.
I'm gonna be
That's a
honest and
toughie.
just say I don't know.
Yeah, that's,
Natalie.
At the end, you have an opportunity to add it to your Strava. It's when you swipe up
Okay.
at the end. Yes.
Okay,
It's
very
that
cool.
add the
So,
result.
Garrett, I can't answer you about Nike, and it won't live sync during the run, but our on-site tech support here, we have to bounce it to after
Thank
the
you.
fact. Yeah, our live crew here is killing it. When your run is over,
Yeah.
you can swipe up and then
Yeah.
go ahead and sync RTRT to Strava. So
Yeah.
that's really, really cool. That's one more way to compare it with your run group and have that community kind of aspect to it.
She's still writing.
We're cranking them out here.
I was looking to see if I could see it.
Oh.
Yeah, really good question from Tim, which is, does the app protect against cheaters? For example, riding a bike. And it's funny, we were doing
Cheaters.
kind of a little dry
Who would
run
do
earlier.
that?
We hope no one.
No
but,
one. Not in our community.
No, not Doug Heitman. No, he wouldn't do that. No.
So,
Or Maria.
But yes,
Oh.
there's
Wow.
underlying, all the techies in the world, I may say it wrong, but the algorithm for running looks different than someone on a bike. So they can actually tell by the smoothness of the ride, either in a car or on a bike, they know. So it's actually a probability of cheating. So once it gets over, 20 or 30%, just to play it safe, we think we're generally going to take them out of the results just to make sure that the honest folks are getting their
Right.
just rewards.
Right.
For,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
particularly if you're,
Don't
on a,
even
if
try
you're on
it.
a bike and say you hit a sub 12-minute 5K, like if we see the world record getting broken.
Yeah. You're out.
But with that said, yeah, because we were talking about a downhill course. Tom mentioned earlier here, we were doing a dry run earlier. He said that, and I made the comment that what if you're starting and stopping your Garmin throughout, and RTRT is going to protect against that as well. Once you start the app, you have to cycle through the whole distance. There's no hitting pause on RTRT, and by utilizing something like that doesn't give you the start
Yeah.
stop, that tries to make more of a race feel, by using a Spotify playlist, our goal beyond all goals is to make these virtual races as not boring as possible. But hey, that's a valid thought. That's a comment we just got, and yeah, they can be boring. But here's the other thing, guys. When you're comparing RTRT and everything else, hey, if you have a group that you kind of social distance run
Yeah,
with, that
yeah.
you've got a range of comfortability of some folks you train with, I think we're kind of all at a point now in all this that we have those slightly extended bubbles, and especially in the fitness and training communities, you can still run with some friends. You
Yeah.
can still map out a course. There's a ton of ways to make this, as exciting as possible.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
we are going to be back on the roads, folks, as soon as it is safely possible. And the safety of our community will never not be our first and foremost focus.
Yeah.
But right after that comes getting you guys back on the roads. That's absolutely a goal. Looks like I got another question coming, and then we'll circle back to something that kind of connects to what happens when we do get back on the roads.
For Sarah.
Best virtual finish line photo. So is that a suggestion for a contest?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Oh.
And that actually
Thank you,
gets us
Doug.
the notes I had at the end here. But yeah, guys, there's a hashtag TrackShackVirtual. You can give us some uploads. While you're on the course, if you want to snap a quick selfie, but you can do us a finished photo, throw your medal and shirt on, take a picture with that. And we want to see the best one. Give us your best finished photo. Get a friend to get a picture of you jumping over the finish line, do a backflip, do something crazy for us.
Well, and like we talked about, there's not awards for virtual, but from the marketing perspective, we're looking for fun things to engage you constantly.
Absolutely.
And so if you're following us on Instagram or on Facebook, one option is to go to the Facebook event page, and you can look at the event that you're doing, and you can start asking questions in there of your fellow runners. Also, we'll have all kinds of ways to earn giveaways. So the last virtual event we had, I think it was about 40 different gift cards that were given out. And so all you had to do was post your photo, just like you said, use the hashtag TrackShackVirtual, and then we're just looking to see whose faces are up there, and then we're going to reach out to you and give you some goods.
Give us some fun photos, and we may not know exactly what it is in this moment, but we'll have something fun for you. And there was gift cards before. I'm going to be honest, because that just came in, the best finish, right? But I'm going to try to do something here in the store where I can get to, who knows what it'll be. I'll reach out to some vendors. We're going to have some fun stuff for you, because we want you to keep it fun for us, and we want to reward you for that. So on that note of awards, though, that does give me a good transition, Sarah, to going back to the series itself. And so this combines the awards question and like I said, the comment about virtual being boring. And hey, we're trying to make it as unboring as possible. But we do want to get back on the road. So, these first 3 races that we have gone fully virtual with, just due to the situation that we're in, are obviously a part of our Track Shack running series. And the series has always, beyond your individual race awards, there have been standings and rankings as to where you are in the age group and overall in the series itself. So we've touched that there won't be individual awards. Will these 3 virtual races affect the overall series standings?
And so as you can imagine, just like Tom said, there's some fairness about doing things in the virtual realm. And so we won't have awards for the individual events, and we're going to put the Track Shack running series standing points on hold until we get back to running in the physical. So when we get back to the physical events, we'll bring those standing points back, but until then, we're gonna hold off on this.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense. Obviously we always want to be as fair as humanly possible.
And we went back and forth on that. I mean, all these decisions, it took a lot. It took so much to get to it, and so we appreciate that everybody's doing these events and still willing to, do it regardless of the awards and those types of things.
For sure. I think that's a great point, Sarah. This isn't on my paper. This is just purely from the heart. People come in the store every day to ask me, how are you guys doing?
Yeah.
And it's come in waves at the store. It's been picking up lately. Every shoe we sell, we're grateful for. We appreciate you guys coming in and supporting us. And people ask about the races and converting to virtual. My answer is always that our running community here is so amazing and has supported us so much. Even though participation is lower, it's still keeping us going. And at a time that's not a guarantee for every small business, it is seriously such a blessing. And I'm not trying to just get campy or emotional here, but this is our life. Tom has worked for this company since before I was born. Natalie, who's feeding me this question, she is my godmother. We are absolutely a family. We live and breathe this. We love it. And we love that even though virtual, hey, maybe for some of you it is boring, maybe it's not ideal, but you're still doing it and you're supporting us, and we're never going to stop supporting you. We are back. It's going to be better than ever. But Jennifer did have a good question before I get, tugging on the heartstrings too much there. Is there a link to app instructions right there? rtrt.me. That'll let you know how to get rolling with that.
Yeah, and you'll get an email race week, actually, telling you all about RTRT, and then you just download the
Cool.
app.
So I guess
and
this
you'll
will
be
be your
following-
email. Also, you don't even have to
Yeah.
type that on your own. Awesome.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
as well,
Awesome.
there's a pretty amazing blog on TrackShack.com. So if you just go to TrackShack.com blogs and you're interested in how the virtuals work in the realm of TrackShack, you'll get everything you ever wanted to know by going there.
Yeah, for sure. Kevin has asked, you have to come to the store to pick up your stuff. You do not. We have an option to mail it to you.
Yep.
With that said, again, we really do. We've got everything physically distanced here at the store. We are requiring masks. We sanitize constantly. We're keeping it as safe as humanly possible. So we'd love to see at least the top half of your face if you want to come in and see us.
See your eyes.
But we do understand if you can't. That also circles back to what I said at the beginning. If you need some shoes, we can hook you up.
Never miss
TrackShack.com.
a chance.
All right, we can mail you those if you don't want to get them. Well, I
His
have
mother's
to.
son.
No, it's great.
Yes, I've got my event operations and marketing people here, but I am the director of retail operations, guys. Retail is my domain. And do sign up for our mailing list. That's going to give you all sorts of race information. And speaking of the store, you might see a fun surprise in your inbox if you're not currently on the TrackShack mailing list. That's TrackShack.com homepage. You scroll down, and you can sign up for that. So this has been really engaging, guys. This is the most live questions I ever remember reading off on a Facebook Live, which is awesome. We appreciate all of that. As far as Tom and Sarah, what I kind of want to bring it home with is that I will not lie. I've not personally yet used RTRT.
Yeah.
We all I know. So last Saturday, as a staff, we were kind of all supposed to download the app and use it and test it. And I went for my morning run before I came into the store here and kind of forgot to boot up the app. So that's on me.
That is key, though. That's a good point.
No, you gotta download it. You gotta, and you
Download
gotta,
the app.
yes, and you gotta queue it up when you're starting that run. I can tell you just a cool side note, personal story. My connection to RTRT is the founder of it, Jeremy. We've been working with for years. Very innovative guy in our space, and he helped us out on a small team of ours a few years ago that I was so fortunate to be on, where we timed the Olympic marathon trials in LA. So fun story about Jeremy. We kind of had hoped he might be involved in the tracking of the racers and that. The TV people went a different route. They were using a third-party company, and for like the first 10 miles, we couldn't see the results on the TV. On Jeremy's laptop that was in our tent, we had a live feed of exactly where every runner was, and he was literally just running it as kind of a test operation to show us how it worked. So it was very impressive.
Legit.
Yeah, the guy is an innovator. He knows his stuff. I think it's the highest functioning app in this space right now. But you guys did your homework on Saturday. You did run with it. And I've got a question from Liliana that we will get to in a moment. But Tom and Sarah, tell me what your personal experiences with RTRT were like. Because I can hype up Jeremy all day, but I didn't use the app.
I think one of the reasons I was chosen to be on the panel because I was a non-believer and now I'm a believer. So, I know Chris
Cue the
mentioned
music.
Chris has mentioned a couple times we're doing everything we can to make this as not boring as possible. But I have to admit,
No marketing.
Yeah, so thanks to a little bit of nudging, I gave it a shot. So my testimonial is, I don't like running with a phone. I don't, I like just running plain and simple.
Tom's old school.
I'm very old school, and now that I'm officially old at 60, so okay. But anyway, so I tried it. Now it's been a couple times, and like Sarah said, we all need motivation. We all need to have a reason to. Our friends keep us moving. Keeping up with your fitness, all those important things in life. But for me, a little extra boost was once I actually, took part in one of the virtual runs with RTRT.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the excitement when I got the audio that you're running this pace, and I could almost feel like the competition around my shoulder.
Yeah.
So it was just an added element of excitement that I actually felt much closer to a real life, in-person race experience, and it just made me closer to the sport, if that could be possible. But anyway, it was just cool finishing.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt that I feel like I'm in pretty good shape, but all that to
You've been
say.
nailing his
So
runs.
anyway, I think, I don't know, it's very exciting, and I just feel closer to my friends and family by using the RTRT app as opposed to just going out and looking at my watch and saying, oh, I ran well. But it's nice to have the RTRT and audio and hearing familiar voices along the way. It's just great.
Actually, I'm just not reading. I saw Liliana ask the question, and I don't want to cut you off, Sarah, because I want to get your personal RTRT experience, but actually, because what you guys did with RTRT was a practice run, it's a perfect flow, because Liliana's question was, how do you start a practice run in the app? So if you could answer that and then just kind of follow what your
Sure.
experience was like.
Sure, Liliana. When you get the email and you download RTRT, you're going to claim your profile, and then you're going to see yourself, and you're going to see yourself there. So when you click on it, it has the option of do a practice, and so you will see that button, and you can do the practice run, or you can skip it and move on to running the race. And so it's very clear when you see it whether you're going to do the practice or you're going to start the race itself. So
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's just a button, start the practice run, and then
So,
when you're
yeah.
done, you hit the stop practice
stop the
run.
practice.
and you're-
Yep.
No windows or
Ready to go.
anything there. That's real time, ready to go. So
Right.
as you download it, you can do a practice at your convenience. So that's really cool. And as we said at the top, guys, those of you who asked questions were all entered to win a virtual race entry, and we really do appreciate all of them. Those were all super engaging,
Thanks,
super
everybody.
awesome. And our winner was Michelle Tribble. You
Nice.
have won
Yes.
a Track Shack virtual race entry.
Oh,
So,
we love confetti.
You're right. Congrats to Michelle. But thank you to all of you for being so engaging. Thank you so much to Tom and Sarah, because you had a lot of answers.
I
did
do
not.
have one more thing, if
Let's
it's
hear it.
okay.
Yes.
Because I wanted
Totally.
to,
Your experience.
I wanted to
Oh,
jump
yeah,
on.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. Exactly. I'm going to echo what Tom said in his experience using the new app. It makes you feel like you are actually running a race, which we're not. And so, when it's the next best thing, it's nice because you see that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the start, and then you have those race feelings of I better do my best today. So those other practice, those other
And maybe you
as
grab
you're
a group of
training.
friends. You might be racing.
That's true.
It is not fully ruled out as an option.
Exactly.
Right, that's a good
So,
point.
whether you're shooting for a PR or you just need a little motivation to do a little bit better tomorrow than you did the day before, this is a good option. And
For sure.
and really, we all just want something interesting to do, right? Like it's starting to be that time of like let's try this. So those are the reasons that I enjoyed it. But beyond that, what else is really nice is that these events benefit really important causes in our community. So when you do a Track Shack virtual event, money goes to the Track Shack Youth Foundation, and we're able to give money to local youth programs that would not have it otherwise. So,
Yeah, that's
whatever your reason is, I know a lot of people, the reason they do virtual, I think people are going crazy on me now. The reason they do virtual
That's
is for
awesome.
the
Love what you're
cause. So, I think
For
it's
sure.
definitely worthwhile.
And I look at that whole thing earlier where I was kind of getting emotional there. Well, that was not in the script, and neither is this. And that's the beauty of Facebook Live, right? But there's like the twofold cause, right? Like I know so many people that are doing these events just because they know that it's keeping us going, and they
That means
value
a lot.
what we do for the community, and that means more to you than you will ever know. But
Yeah.
what means even more to us
Thank you.
truly is the Track Shack Youth Foundation. That's our pride and joy. We're helping underserved kids in the community. We've been doing it since 1994. And we want to do more every year, and you're allowing us to continue moving forward with that mission, as well as obviously supporting our business itself. And every bit of support our business gets is a little bit more of a percent of support we can give to those kids,
Yeah.
and that's everything to us. But thank you, Tom and Sarah, for joining us.
Thanks
you,
for having
Becky.
us.
Thanks,
My
Chris.
pleasure.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Fun.
Always good to hang with you guys. And guys, have fun with this app. Enjoy this virtual race experience. That's hopefully going to bring us all together. I know we said this earlier, but share your pictures and videos. That
Yes.
hashtag is TrackShackVirtual. We're going to get you something good if you get us some
Promise.
good content. And as
Yeah.
always, for more info, check out the website. If you've got specific questions, shoot us an email to info@trackshack.com. If you've got a question specifically about the store, hit us at storeinfo@trackshack.com. So info@trackshack.com for event questions, storeinfo@trackshack.com for retail. And again, like I said, sign up for our mailing list if you have not. And if you do need some shoes or coming for your race packet, come see us here or come do your shopping online. We've got you in person and online. And we can't wait to see you in person to get on the roads. But until then, we're going to give you the best virtual experience possible. hit us up with questions. When this gets posted, we can still answer them when you ask us
Yep.
on Facebook, and hit us up with comments, because this isn't the only virtual race we're doing. We've got the 3 coming up. We are open to feedback. Whatever's going to help make this the best experience for
Absolutely.
you, that's what we've always done, what we'll continue to do, and we just can't thank you enough for joining us, and most importantly, supporting us and everything we're trying to do here for the community.
It's gonna be a party!
We're going to celebrate. Running.
And sweep.
We just love
I
confetti.
know.
don't
We're
we?
gonna get text messages
Yeah.
from Betsy.
That was awesome.
Who's sweeping that up?